Speaking of old Double Fine.
Speaking of old Double Fine, hello and welcome to the third episode of Psychonauts 2: The Lost Levels. And today we're finally going to get to look at the inside of the Psychonauts headquarters, which we call internally as HQIN. It's one of the first sort of big gameplay spaces that Asif got to take on. And then was one of the first areas I went into when moving on to the hub in the real world of the game. So let's go take a look. We're gonna actually start off here in an area that Ryan had set up and done the basic layout for, but I kind of wanted everyone to be able to see that the old lobby was pretty different, and there was supposed to be some security you went through. And later you'd actually be able to use the clone to open a little clone door and get back in there and get this sort of pickup that you would have seen the whole time. But you'd come in here and you'd get scanned, and you'd come into this space that we called the lobby, and it was giant. This is supposed to be the bottom of that tower that the mother lobe sort of brain part rests on top of. This is a very early build that is sort of from the end of 2017. So
I'm gonna nod to whatever year you say, because this has all been one long year in my mind.
Yeah.
This entire production.
But Asif, is this version of the space reflecting some work you did, or was this still kind of a rough layout that Ryan had put together?
There might have been a little bit of a combo here, but that information board was not something that I had worked on, this sort of like guide here, a directory.
Yeah.
But I remember in part it getting removed because like it basically dominated your entire view when you first came in here. So it's like we need to find some other way to convey this information and actually let you see the different paths ahead of you as places of interest to draw your eye. But all these layouts here were done by somebody else, and most likely Ryan. So this was before my time.
Yeah, I think we can't get in there right now, but that green box in there, I believe, was the box that was supposed to have Nick's body in it. I want to get to the stuff that you worked on, Asif, but I do think it's kind of fun to look at some of this.
Oh, definitely.
Back storage room space. So you'd kind of be like, I'm trapped in the storage room. I got to move some boxes and stuff, and you'd actually go outside. This was mentioned in our quarry video. But from a flow standpoint, you would actually come outside of the mother lobe and platform along.
It's really ambitious.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just looking at something. This is insane that we ever thought that we were going to do this, but it is cool, and I kind of wish we had pulled it off a little bit. But,
oh no!
Yeah, because then you run into this all the time.
I would have expected that it was a wall climb.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
But yeah, so I don't really remember how it was that you would path around up here, but you would in some way path around up here.
TK to pull that switch.
Yeah, I think there might have been something about moving it up and down on a spline on TK, and this would get you back into Sasha's office.
Yes.
Where he's doing the interrogation. You actually kind of came out in a little closet in his space. I think we probably need to jump forward to see more of your work.
Yeah.
But this is a really good starting place. I guess just before we say goodbye to this, let me quickly fly over and see if there's anything in mission control. I don't know if there is right now. Okay. Yeah, so it's all very like rough placeholder.
I will say one thing that's even apparent in this version that is part of the, that was part of the direction we received moving forward, was that like a lot of the spaces at the ground level were meant to feel functional for the Psychonauts and everyone that worked in the building. But then everything higher up was meant to be kind of more inviting for Raz's moveset. So that was true in the first room that you were in, and it's true in this too, where like a lot more of the sort of rail grindy, trapeze sort of things are located up in this area, and we were trying to find ways to justify why those things would exist in a place like this. So I'm sure we'll see more of that fleshed out in future versions.
And at this time, the idea was sort of that the mother lobe was under construction. Like it wasn't done yet. And we talked about this a little bit in the quarry video, but like it was supposed to be that part of the justification was there was still scaffolding.
Yes, yeah.
And it was incomplete. So, all right, we're going to jump into the future. If only making games was as easy as syncing to a different beta. I was gonna kind of talk about it a little bit later, but if you had seen the update videos that we did as we were like working on the game, I wasn't actually on the project yet, but you'll see some early versions of HQIN that were kind of done based off this concept that Peter Chan did. It kind of had this idea of these triangular doors and this big brain symbol and, you know, people moving around in this kind of lower area. And there's a version of it that you can see in one of the videos kind of in the background. And but it kind of got this reputation for being kind of shaped like a Twinkie. Like it was like uniformly shaped and just had all these doors, and it wasn't very inviting for the kind of platforming you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Having multiple tiers and like spaces to go up to. And I think one of the things that's really you know, important to think about a lot of these levels is we were kind of looking at an individual space and being like, how can this be a great platforming location?
Yeah, yeah.
And it would end up being like, oh, well, to make a fun platforming space for Raz, it gets pretty big. It works better in a mental space than a real world location. But anyway, just like if you saw early versions of it, or if you got that piece of concept art, there's a reason why we moved away from that. And part of it was to create this multi-tiered platforming experience. So we're going to see that evolve a little bit before it ended up getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, too much.
Not under Osif's watch, by the way. I started working on it and it got out of control.
Yeah. It was out of control before you started, so you inherited out of control. I'm actually really happy that some of those same upper area platforming opportunities like still existed in the little wings. So you'll see like in the mailroom especially, like there's fun stuff to do up there that is pretty much intact from the initial pass on it.
Oh, so yeah, so this space, this lobby space, has evolved a lot more.
Yeah.
Is this you?
This is me, yeah.
Yeah,
this is some of the first stuff I did.
Yeah, because I remember, welcome, Jeff. We mentioned when we were talking about the brain frame, Osif's artistry with primitives. Like, look at this. Look at this. It's just a bunch of Unreal cylinders that have been turned into this actual work of art.
So I'm actually really, this is the perfect time for Jeff to come in, because after years and years, I finally get to like apologize to you on record for doing any of this, because this was bad. And I should have talked to you about it.
No.
Not bad like qualities, I just like for productions, from a production standpoint, it's bad.
The only thing I was frightened about was the like building out the full version of the original brain frame, which was the thing behind the brain frame.
Yeah, that's what we looked at last time. Yeah.
But yeah, this whole space that we're looking at right here was just the lobby.
Yeah.
Just like the thing that was supposed to get
base
you
of it.
to HQIN. It was really, really big. I don't know how much you remember about in this space, but do you want to run
No,
around
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit also?
I'll do my best. I basically tried to turn everything that was really high up into some kind of either sculptural piece that was part of the decor, or just like these floating hangers. Because, you know, so many lobbies have like all these different like plant fixtures and stuff like that. And if you were in the Psychonauts building, you would have a floating one, right? Why not have these little cubed gardens just hanging out above here? And so that would be a good opportunity for you to do some wall climbing. And then go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I was going to say, and to be fair, this is taking the concept that Peter Chan gave us, which was this like sort of long hallway that was massively tall. I don't even think he drew a roof. Like it was implied that it was like a 20-foot ceiling. Or something like that.
It fills that entire pedestal on that negative space.
Yeah, with a floating brain in the middle. And if I remember at some point in one meeting, someone was like, the brain should be a jungle gym.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where we got to here.
I mean, it looks like it's made out of a bunch of bars, right?
Right.
But
And this was meant to be the scaffolding you were talking about, all this stuff here. So I tried to set some of these up and like having opportunities for Raz to go swinging on this. Oh boy, that trapeze did not work the way it was supposed to. Or H-pole, excuse me.
One thing you can say about all of these large spaces is that the one thing we did learn was that it really sucks to fall all the way from the top down to the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, which I was very grateful that like this monstrosity ended after a while.
Some of the stuff stayed, like, or at least made the transition. Like the big art piece became a big art piece that you could climb on. Right.
Yeah.
This sort of center area still existed in the final version.
Yeah. We always had this problem of this character, this central space here was like the most important thing. Like you came in and you're facing like a rando.
Yeah. But yeah, like we were talking about before, a lot of this was just like, you need a lot of space to do fun Raz stuff, and I think another thing too is that like I don't know if you guys feel this way, but like when we're working on this stuff, you get so adept at just like rolling around on the lev ball and using the fastest mode of transport. They're just like, oh, it takes no time at all to like go across this space. The size of this is fine. It's fine.
Well, Raz moves so quickly. Like if you jump and float in here, like you could probably get so far. Oh
boy.
Oh, H.
As the person who made
This is good, actually.
Meat Circus, I absolutely understand.
It's Jeff, everybody.
So you can really get a sense for just like the scale of this, and it's just way too big. There's way too much going on, but at the same time too, like we had like every collectible type was on the table at this point. So it's like, okay, well we need, and on paper it's like, okay, well we need space for this, and there has to be platforming between here and there. So it just gradually blows up to looking like this because of that.
And also, if I remember correctly, this was the time where you had sort of a linear progression through this place.
Yes.
And so to like block Raz off from getting places
it seems
was
crazy.
nigh impossible in this place.
So I think this is like one of the earliest things I remember doing. And it doesn't have my old white box in here anymore, but like I made this space and then Jeff replaced it with all the representative meshes. And then this was supposed to, well, I mean, it's just, that's what we were calling it back then, on the project. And then this was supposed to be like the intern bunk, and it was supposed to be like the cabins in the first game, right? Like you come back here and save your game and like add cool things to your own little bunk. I forget where Raz's is, but it's one of these.
I mean, honestly, the only reason why these were removed was not because we didn't have the time to make them. It was just that all of the interns were always other places.
Around, So
it ended up being a space that there was nothing in, and it was just like, well, let's just get rid of it.
I really,
because it's really cool, but they never go there. So
it's really cool to have them have a space. Here,
actually, I'll come up to the very top real quick just to explain some of the stuff that never made it in. Again, here's the slightly evolved, slightly shrunk down sky bar for the adult Psychonauts. Another huge, ridiculous sculpture that you would climb up to get little challenge markers. What this doesn't have is there were some pads that like you would turn on and they would be like timed Mario platforms that would appear in the sky.
I think that stomp switch over there will give it to you. I'll let you fly.
That's one over there.
I just want to point out, as we're flying around here, you'll see all these moving things that are all just scripted block mesh that Asif put in here.
I really just abused the hell out of the rotation component because that was as far as I could understand or even had the tools for, because this was well before keyframe mover or any of the stuff that we did to like stub in things that were meant to move on a some kind of circuit. But yeah, that's how you got that challenge marker. And then could you ghost me again?
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, this was something that I was always like, oh man, it would be cool if like we had a big brain sculpture here that was sliced up into pieces, and at one point in the revolution it would be like a whole brain and then it would like break up again.
Oh, that's
what
cool.
that was supposed to be.
I love it.
What's down here? Let's see. It's more madness. I can't believe I just like even made these rails. This is so goofy.
Oh yeah. I think we should.
Oh, here's Hollis's office down here.
Look at some of the spaces that survived a little bit, like the mailroom.
For sure.
Because we're looking at a lot of stuff in here, and in some ways this is the exciting things because it changed the most. The mailroom.
Yeah. So this is largely kind of the same as it was, except it got extended a little bit more. I don't think you could see mail clerk Ford from this vantage point anymore. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. No, we changed it so that the door was over
right
here.
Yeah. I will say one thing up here that I think. Can you get up here?
Yeah, the vents? Are the vents still there? Yeah.
There was meant to be a little vent action that you could go through. And some of that survived. I think there's still one exit point on one of these conveyors, but that was just to let Raz be sneaky. But yeah, so there was this stuff here, and then we can go over to cafeteria. I'll just go through this wall. I think we made all of these boxes in the hallway dynamic so that as you were carrying the body out, these things would fall over and it would be all goofy.
Oh yeah, that's something that Tim always really wanted, was just like the idea that that you just cause chaos on the way out, and that you feel really bad when you realize that like Nick's body was in there.
And then I think these are more or less the same scale. There's just more space on the sides.
Yeah, the only thing that really changed here was that like a lot of the sort of stylings of the level.
The astral lane stuff. Yeah. So this...
Oh, now we can actually play through this one because this wasn't loading right. So yeah, this was all the machinery that sort of like worked the bowling mechanism. which for some reason had dangerous floors back here. Don't know why, but all kinds of crazy electronic stuff that just sort of keep the facility running and are very dangerous. This was like semi-inspired by the ridiculous thing that Sean Connery rolls through in The Rock. It was meant to sort of evoke that feeling of like breaking back in, but... All right, and then I think there was something for getting through here that I can't trigger now. This used to be on a timer.
It's like, it looks like none of these hazards are moving. I put you on H, so... But yeah, there was this whole back area here.
And then I think you would just get like little peeks back into the HQ in some areas. I don't know what, it speaks volumes that I don't know what all of this is. But yeah, eventually you would exit out here. And then that would put you...
Oh, we would exit you here.
Exactly, yeah. You would pop out of this.
Yeah.
And then now you would be on this, which really has not changed much.
This all survived. So this is the cafe, and it's certainly like, I think something very different from this space, or from the other spaces here, is that, it's pretty compact overall. You can't really make it too much tighter and still have Raz be able to jump around in it. And so the general layout and plan for this space ended up getting moved over into the new version of the headquarters. And that path, it's really fun to go up there on those lights. So we just plugged up that hole and made it be a side challenge marker. And just added vines so you could enter it the other way.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of these side rooms were actually really good. Even the offices. And so when we did the sort of like refactor of the whole space, it was just about like simplifying it all, but keeping the parts that were successful in the game. Right? And we took all of them and just sort of like squashed them together.
Which I was extremely grateful for and just happy for everyone, because like it's not like I wasted everyone's time doing this stuff. Like some of it was still salvageable, which is nice.
I think we were talking about it the last time, where it's like nothing is wasted.
Yeah,
like everything leads to something else. It wouldn't be the game it was if we didn't fuck up before.
True.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of what ended up happening was we had these successful side rooms, and then I tried to make sense of that main area, reducing it down, turning it into 2 floors and stuff. And we'll see some of those in a little bit, but it ended up just kind of not working out. And I went back and took the first visual test that Jeff had put together and kind of slammed that together with some of these more successful side rooms to get the final headquarters. Because it was just like, this was cool. The main space was just too much.
I'm trying to remember the exact angle, but I think this was meant to be like a riff on the Psychonauts logo a little bit, the layout for this space.
Oh, yeah.
That's at least where I started from.
That's cool. Yeah, those are details that got lost along the way.
Bacon lights.
I think we're going to pop out of this one right here. And so what we just looked at was really early 2018. But a lot of this is to look at, I just think, like, the evolution. Like everyone, we've seen we saw like a white box layout for this whole thing, and then we saw Osif coming in, adding in details, right? And then, we did a lot of iterations on that basic idea, and then we tried to put art on top of it. And I think we'll see that, and hopefully Jeff can guide us through some of the visual challenges that it presented.
And, it's one of those, hindsight is always 2020, but like the more versions that we went through, it always came back to the same thing, which was like, we're trying to tell the story of the game, and this is where it's happening, and then all of the platforming just ended up getting in the way of it, or kept getting in the way of it. And like it's interesting because like I thought about this a lot during the development of all of Psychonauts, where it's like we went real hard on the platforming and puzzles, and it was like such a big deal when we had no story. So it was like, how do you fill a level? Well, let's, I mean,
it's the only tools we had right then, right?
Yep.
So.
I think this is something that's really classic that happens when you're building levels, right? Is you have a limited set of tools at the beginning of development. And so you just start building out a space, and you fill it with gameplay, things that are interesting, right? And it's whatever you can do at that time. So when we started this game out, it's like you could platform. This version was when we started doing characters and adding side stories and subplots and stuff like that.
The brain ball guy.
And you may recognize this cutscene actually from the shipping version of the game. But just before we get into the menu things, if we go back to the central area where you kind of had that path, just because this is something we looked at before, like that, you'd come in and there's still this little like water feature.
Same problem. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean it's cool, and actually if you talk to these two, you'll
get a little gag about it.
I like that they turn into me.
Yeah.
It's the default character for all cutscenes.
But yeah, so Jeff, we made this insane space. And then somebody was like, hey, Jeff, could you art this?
Yeah.
And you had to make all these signs and all kinds of stuff. Like what?
Yeah, there's like this weird, like, we were talking about a lot of, we were starting to have discussions about localization, and they're like, well, how do we fix the problem of needing high fidelity labels for things and locations? So I was like, I don't know, I guess we'll make icons for everything. And so if you see billboards in here that have like, Sasha's face on it or anything, like it's trying to direct you towards those locations. So like,
very iconic.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're really cool, actually. It's something that I really love about this version. But you can see that even though we've added a lot of detail, the basic idea has, of this space, a lot of the other spaces has really stayed true.
Yeah.
There's just a temporary block.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah.
I think if you can run around the front of Truman's office too, and there might be
yes. Yeah. Yeah, I did kind of like it when he was looking out. When we changed it to have him look out over both sides.
But this is one of those just examples of like scale and stuff. Like Truman's office is the size of a basketball court.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Oh yeah,
The entrance to his little grotto. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a fishing spot we've seen in some other ones. But a lot of these ideas are still in the final version. It's just scrunched down a little bit, and the way you come in frames the room different. The bed's oriented differently.
Well, and this was like a lot of us trying to like interpret Peter's drawings.
Yeah.
As well. Like the concept of this space is massive.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge.
And see the mail room and cafe and stuff.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the first
yeah, yeah.
appearance of this.
Oh yeah.
This I was not involved with at all. So I think by the time that y'all had layered this application of art, I was on something else.
Yeah,
So.
it was one of those things.
The giant fish tank.
Oh yeah. This is
Where was the fish tank?
This
Right.
is
This one right
the-
here. Yeah. Right. God.
When you'd collect fish, they would appear there, and that's where the coach cutscene would happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's this space, arted up more.
Now closed off from the bowling alley.
Yep.
They're now totally separate.
This is mostly how it shipped. Like, obviously the art is much higher fidelity,
Right.
and whatnot. But like, not a lot changed in here from this version. Yeah, this is almost the fully shipped version of it.
We just kind of
Obviously
redid it with
without
the more the like disco bowlings.
Yeah.
The desk. It's really beautiful. Yeah.
That the wall mural thing was one
you
of
want me to go
those. No, it's okay. It's one of those times, and I don't really remember why, but we basically had like a little bit of extra Peter Chan time, and we were trying to figure out, because at this point we had cut the whole lobby. We're like, how do we have something that really acts as a hint at the idea that there were like, this game's all about the Psychic 7. And so we came up with the idea of putting the mural in here. And he basically drew the mural exactly as it appears in game. And we just turned that into a 3D model.
Yep.
And this was like an early version that I can't remember who did it, but someone basically traced it in Maya and started trying to turn it into a 3D model.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, that was supposed to be the photo thing that one of the interns was putting together.
Can you
right?
interact with one of these? Okay, so yeah, so this actually, if you took pictures of different locations in the world, they would actually appear here, the version that you took, as like the history thing.
Right.
And it was a whole interactive like photo exhibit thing that I like mocked up in Blueprint at some point. I don't know. Every different characters had shops.
Yep.
Which was cool. And there was a shop that was called Hemispheres. We have dialogue for it somewhere, and I'm sad that didn't make it in. This over here is a crazy thing. If you mental connect those things, some stuff will start happening.
Yeah, we should preface that this is the era of the game where mental connection powered things, right?
Yeah. So I think that one that's glowing is like a power source. And so if you would connect it, it would start spinning that, but then you couldn't. So what you need to do is punch it when the gap in the disc appears.
I remember making this custom piece of Geo just specifically for this thing.
Yeah. And then if you keep going upwards, which maybe you... Here, let me just... I think you can grapple.
Just H me up.
You're in H mode, yeah. Yeah. But then, so you'd connect this. Sorry, everybody. These are kind of how some of our... And then connect that to the power source down there.
Is there a missing
You just connect it to that thing that has the energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And now this starts moving.
I don't remember this at all.
This is something that I mean, I'd actually saw all the stuff you were doing in the Hollis levels and was like, I need to get in on this, overly complicated mental connection puzzle thing.
So you followed my example perfectly by making it extremely ridiculous and
Yeah. Look at you can still platform up here for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, like this was the biggest problem with having like seeing it like this. Like we were like coming up against like memory issues here before we had all of the characters in, and then it was like, well, this place needs to feel full. Like there's a ton of people here, and once I think it might have been like the version after this before we changed it, where we filled it with all of the randos, and it was just like it got sad. The level got real sad.
All right. Do you want to move on to?
I mean, it's one of those things where I think this got iterated on for a while longer, but the spirit of this really is where things were for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I guess that's pretty much it. Like the there's a lot of really cool things in this space, and I'm really glad that we got to go around here and look at it and like these moving platforms that are rotating around, like the little mobile things like that you came up with are so cool. And it really is fun to play in this space, but it was just too much of a distraction against the story.
Totally.
And as the story came in more and more, this space felt overloaded.
Yeah.
And was one of the reasons why we kind of like rebooted it. And then the shipping version of the game is really like very simplified geometry and then just like a lot of dialogue scripting from Sarah. Is basically what it boils down to.
And some of the stuff you see, like we didn't completely throw it all away. Like a lot of it was put in other, like a lot of this stuff we sort of just jammed into Sasha's lab and like
all these little things here. I just want to go, where's Sasha's lab in this version?
It's like second floor, third floor, something like that.
It's like that's the classroom. That's the puzzle. It's like here, Sasha. Look, you can totally see that from down here. Yeah, but just so that people can see at this stage, we had removed the lower level of this that we saw at the very beginning and created something that really feels a lot like Sasha's lab in the shipping version of the game, moved some things in here and other stuff. So there are a lot of ideas here that really carried forward, having the brain tumbler, Lobato framed like this. But the funny thing for me is at this point, I thought I was like trimming the level down. I was like, there's not a bar floating there. I removed the lower part. I was like, I've cut so much. And yet it's still just infinitely big. So, all right. Well, that is at least some of the versions of HQIN that we built on our journey towards shipping Psychonauts 2 and making the final version that you can play today. I don't know what's next, but there will be another section of Psychonauts 2 Lost Levels. So, see you later.
Thanks, Seth.
Thanks, Asif.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey.